Diddy reportedly offered plea deal to snitch on Jay-Z. Jay-Z is allegedly fearing testimony. New developments suggest that Diddy has been offered a plea deal in exchange for testifying against Jay-Z, raising serious concerns for the rap mogul. According to insider sources, Jay-Z is allegedly worried he might be called to testify as this case unfolds and his name continues to surface repeatedly. It's becoming increasingly clear that Diddy may not have been acting alone. This has led to speculation that the true mastermind behind Diddy's alleged trafficking ring might be someone even more powerful, possibly Jay-Z himself. In a shocking twist, some reports claim that Jay-Z is now considering turning on Diddy to protect his billion-dollar empire. If Jay-Z goes down, insiders warn that Beyoncé could be implicated as well. While the specific terms of Diddy's plea deal remain confidential, sources close to the situation say it involves admitting to crimes that are also allegedly linked to Jay-Z. Interestingly, there are even claims that Jay-Z advised Diddy to reject the plea deal. Federal investigators reportedly wanted Diddy to cooperate and expose other high-profile figures involved in the enterprise. However, Diddy refused, apparently determined not to be labeled a rat, knowing the dangerous consequences that label carries in prison.
The last hearing before Sean Combs' trial starts, when he walked into federal court today, he appeared to be looking for his family. They've pretty much been at all of the hearings that I've been to, but there was no presence of his sons or his mother or his sister who had previously been at those hearings. So here's what came out of today's hearing. Number one, the government acknowledged that they offered Combs a plea deal. Combs acknowledged he has no interest in taking that. They're going to move forward with the trial. They also talked about the jury selection process, which one legal expert I spoke to said is probably the most important thing that you want to pay close attention to before the actual trial starts. And thirdly, we learned that Combs will be adding 2 new attorneys to his defense team. And just to recap, Combs, who is 55 years old, could spend the rest of his life behind bars if convicted on sex trafficking and racketeering. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
Major developments tonight involving the case against Sean Diddy Combs, what he decided in court today, and what this now means, the move coming just 4 days before his trial is set to begin. Here's Aaron Katursky.
Tonight, Sean Combs makes it official. He's rejecting the government's offer to plead guilty and spare himself the possibility of a prolonged term in prison. When asked if he turned down the offer, Combs answered, "Yes, I do, Your Honor," as he stood in a baggy beige jail uniform. Terms were not disclosed, but prosecutors did say a plea could result in a shorter sentence for Combs than if he's convicted. The decision guarantees Combs will face trial beginning just 4 days from now that will test whether one of music's most prolific figures used his power, wealth, and fame to sexually exploit both women and men for decades. Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering conspiracies, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution charges that accused him of coercing alleged victims into prolonged, drug-fueled sexual activity that he called freak-offs and threatening them into silence.
First time Diddy and Jay-Z have faced serious accusations. Both have a history of alleged abuse and intimidating those who try to speak out against them. Jay-Z, for example, pleaded guilty to third-degree assault after stabbing record executive Lance on Rivera in December 1999. That same year, Diddy was involved in a nightclub shooting incident that led to legal trouble of his own. These past events have led some to view Jay-Z as violent and dangerous and raise questions about how far both men are willing to go to protect their power.
A top rap star is busted.
Jay-Z turned himself in tonight, and the cops started working on his rap sheet, accusing him of a stabbing at a trendy party.
Kimberly Richardson is at Midtown South right now. Kimberly.
Well, Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night. But just a few moments ago, Carter's attorney had this to say.
He's not involved in this, period.
He was at the club?
That's my only comment. He wasn't involved in this.
So it was someone else that did the stabbing and the hitting?
I didn't say that. I said he was not involved in it.
Now, Slovis goes on to say that at no time was Jay-Z hiding from the police, that they were in touch with cops all day and that they're trying to resolve this as gentlemen. But as Mike Sheehan shows us, others say they've seen the dark side of Jay-Z.
I have my faults. You know I'm not a perfect person.
Just a few months ago, both Diddy and Jay-Z were named as defendants in a high-profile lawsuit. However, the woman who filed the case abruptly withdrew it, reportedly after being threatened by Jay-Z. Shortly after Jay-Z issued a public statement addressing the lawsuit, Diddy was released from jail, citing a medical emergency. While at the hospital, sources claimed Diddy made several phone calls, and within a week, the case was suddenly dropped. The timing of these events has raised serious questions and fueled speculation about behind-the-scenes pressure and influence.
A twist in a high-profile lawsuit accuses rapper Jay-Z of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 alongside Sean Diddy Combs. The lawsuit, originally filed in October, was refiled today to include Jay-Z as a defendant. The anonymous accuser claims the assault occurred at an MTV Video Music Awards after-party. Jay-Z has denied the allegations in a statement on Roc Nation's Instagram, calling the accusations heinous and urging a criminal complaint be filed instead of a civil one. He also criticized the attorney behind the lawsuit, Tony Busby, accusing him of exploiting the case for personal gain.
Just weeks before the upcoming trial, Jay-Z and Beyoncé were named in another civil lawsuit tied to Diddy. In a case filed in Florida on April 1st, a man named Joseph Manzaro alleges he was drugged, transported against his will, and sexually assaulted as part of a coercive, organized criminal enterprise allegedly facilitated by Diddy and others in 2015. According to the lawsuit, both Jay-Z and Beyoncé were allegedly present at a so-called freak-off party where the abuse took place. This isn't the first time Jay-Z's name has surfaced in connection to Diddy's legal troubles, and it likely won't be the last.
Sean Diddy Combs is facing new accusations of human trafficking as he awaits his federal trial. In a civil case filed in Florida April 1st, Joseph Manzaro alleges, according to court documents obtained by E! News, that he was drugged, transported against his will, and sexually maimed as a victim of a coercive and organized criminal enterprise facilitated by Combs and others back in 2015, and named celebs such as Beyoncé, Jay-Z, and LeBron James as witnesses in the lawsuit. In his filing, Manzaro says the alleged events took place in April 2015. He states that he lost consciousness after feeling a, quote, greasy substance resembling Vaseline as he opened the front door to his home, after which he says he was transported to another residence, where an associate of Combs allegedly told him that the music mogul wanted him brought to a freak-off event. Manzaro alleges in the suit he was secretly transferred to the music producer's home through a concealed tunnel allegedly connected to Gloria Estefan and Emilio Estefan's Miami property. He alleges that upon regaining partial consciousness, he found himself inside a large party area upon information and belief that it was a birthday party for Combs' then 17-year-old son Christian Combs. There he was allegedly forced to appear in a penis mask. The lawsuit states, Jay-Z and Beyoncé Knowles Carter were seated in the room, and upon seeing Manzaro, Beyoncé Knowles Carter asked, "What's this? What's this all about? Why is this half-naked white man with a penis mask standing here in front of me?" Manzaro alleges in the lawsuit that he was then forcibly paraded through multiple rooms filled with people who were jeering and taunting him.
High-profile individuals, including Jacob Arabo, Jay-Z, Gloria Estefan, LeBron James, and Beyoncé Knowles Carter, are identified as witnesses due to their presence or knowledge of the events surrounding the freak-off orchestrated by defendant Diddy. Wow. And freak-off, of course, is something that we've heard many times before, both in Combs' criminal case and other civil cases, to describe these prolonged sexual episodes, usually with sex workers. But Manzaro is suing Sean Combs. He is suing a man named Eric Mejias. He is suing Brendan Paul, who's been described in another lawsuit as Sean Combs' drug mule, Emilio Estefan, who is married to pop superstar Gloria Estefan, and Adria English, who filed her own lawsuit against Sean Combs, claiming she too was a victim of sex trafficking. By the way, it's interesting he's not suing these other celebrities that I mentioned, like Jay-Z and Beyoncé and Gloria Estefan, possibly because he doesn't believe their alleged liability amounted to a civil claim, but seems to want to call them as witnesses at a trial, although I have to imagine they will do everything in their power to quash any subpoena should this case progress, and we'll talk a little bit more about whether or not it will.
Jay-Z has responded to the allegations, and as expected, he has denied any involvement.
That alleged freak-off reportedly happened in 2015 at both Gloria and husband Emilio Estefan's Miami mansion and Diddy. That's where a new accuser claims he was sexually assaulted and humiliated by Diddy. And he says Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Gloria all witnessed his abuse, but allegedly did nothing.
Yeah, let's skip over that.
Okay. I don't like it at all.
Gloria and Emilio denying the claims, telling ET there were no parties thrown at that property between 2012 and 2019. The couple says they have documents to back their denial and will provide them in court if necessary.
I could not believe what I was hearing.
Oh, God. As for Jay-Z, his rep tells ET he wasn't in Florida at that time to witness this incident. He was engaged in easily findable public activities that prove he was not at this event, adding, "This is more nonsense that erodes the trust in our justice system."
A lot of times people say things because they don't want to get themselves in a PR disaster. They can't be, write a check.
The new claims come months after a woman dropped a lawsuit against Jay-Z alleging he raped her 15 years ago.
Well, Jay-Z has responded to the allegations, and as expected, he has denied any involvement.
Diddy always been the type of individual that want to have ups on the next person no matter what they was doing. He did the stuff to Ja Rule so he could go after Jay-Z. They not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them, and they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. Until the feds say, "Hey, yo, listen here. Hey, buddy, we got you on this tape," and the girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love. That's when they're gonna start talking, and they're not gonna be talking in his favor. 250 cameras all over the house. Somebody got caught stealing a cookie out the cookie jar. When you that powerful, you didn't get that powerful without having 1 or 2 or maybe 3 ups on somebody.
That the people in power had gave that ring to Diddy, and Jay was next in line. So to separate him, when in fact they may be two of the same, but because Jay-Z is low-key, that low-key sneaky, and Diddy is, and was, rambunctious, just out with it, it don't mean that they not two of the same. One just a little quiet with his shit.
What happened at the basketball game? When they ran into, you guys ran into Jay-Z?
They were just talking. They was talking amongst each other about their little white girls. They little skinny white girls.
And I mean, did Diddy always say negative things about Jay around you?
The time he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay, yeah.
Diddy and Jay-Z are two sides of a same coin. The only way Jay-Z would ever turn on Diddy is if federal investigators already have solid evidence, like a tape of him incriminating himself. Industry insider Gondal has claimed that Jay-Z is just as violent as Diddy, but the key difference is that Jay-Z keeps a lower profile and doesn't draw as much attention. Diddy, on the other hand, was far less discreet, even going so far as to make incriminating statements on live television. In the end, it was Diddy's own loud behavior that got him caught.
Like I said, Biggie died, Tupac died, and then there was the fight between who was the top rapper now, Nas and Jay-Z, and then the next thing you know, Nas has a nervous breakdown and he's taken out of the game, and it's all Jay-Z.
It's all Jay-Z.
It's all Jay-Z. And he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. They made all of those records together. They both Aaliyah. They shared so much in common. And then there was a falling out. And that's like it never happened. Whoever talks about best of both worlds? Nobody talks about that.
Nobody.
because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
Other sources who have worked closely with Jay-Z have echoed similar concerns.
Diddy's prison phone call just leaked and it was posted by Social Details. This is allegedly a call that he had, and there's a lot of talk, a lot of code words in there, so we're gonna listen to it together. Check it out.
Do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes leftover.
Now, this alleged leaked call from Diddy in prison was talking about getting rid of pizza boxes. Now, if you know your stuff and you're privy, you know exactly what pizza stands for, and that's probably what they're talking about and referring to on this alleged leaked call. Pizza, for those who don't know, I'm gonna make it very clean. It has to do with children and selling.
Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about.
Now, in this alleged phone call, he starts talking about someone named Jay. People are speculating that may be Jay-Z, but there's no confirmation. At the same time, he talks about recycling plastic. I don't know what that could mean. If you guys have any idea, comment and let me know.
Everybody out there quiet as motherfucker. Yeah, exactly. We gonna let them have their little fun, but I'm still gonna have the last laugh.
I mean, it seems by the call that he's looking for help. He's saying that a lot of people are quiet, I guess people that are on his side, and that he's gonna have the last laugh at the end.
Man, just do what I told you to do, and don't forget about the list.
And then he goes on to say, don't forget about the list. And we don't know what that list is or what that implies, but this is pretty crazy. Do I think this is legitimate? There is no confirmation yet if this is legitimate or not, but this is the alleged.
On Piers Morgan, Jaguar Wright, a former backup singer for Jay-Z, accused both Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs of being monsters. She went as far as claiming that there are victims prepared to testify against both Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Even more unsettling, Wright pointed out a troubling pattern. Individuals who challenge or compete against Jay-Z often seem to disappear or fall off the radar under suspicious circumstances.
When I looked at that thing, to be honest, I thought that the people who was watching it, because you know at those hotels, they have security personnel that watch that stuff. And if they didn't call the police, they should be in jail. I don't care what nobody say. You know, whoever watched that tape and didn't submit that to the authorities, they should be brought up on charges.
Why do you think the video is barely coming out right now? Because you got a lot of people, you know, that's wondering why it took so long.
First of all, they know that Puff probably paid the security personnel because he knew it was on camera. When he made it to the hallway, when she made it to that phone, once that phone picked up, that's going straight to security. That's for emergency purposes only. So either the concierge or somebody that's handling emergency type situations when she picked up that phone. So now, Puff probably had somebody pay them off. 9 times out of 10, he had somebody pay them off, bruh.
Big breaking news tonight. For the first time in the history of New York City, a sitting mayor has been indicted for crimes. ABC News reporting that Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We do not know yet the exact charges. Federal authorities have been investigating Adams and members of his staff, issuing subpoenas for documents and cell phones. Several members of administration have resigned, some of them also friends of Mayor Adams. Again, Eric Adams, the 110th mayor of New York, has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We'll have the latest online and tonight on Eyewitness News at 11.
Jay-Z wasn't the only person helping Diddy. Diddy also used money and power to stay protected, and he was linked to New York Mayor Eric Adams. Just weeks before Diddy was arrested, Mayor Adams gave him the key to the city. Not long after Diddy went to prison, Mayor Adams was also arrested for corruption. Their connection may have helped the feds track down and arrest Diddy.